Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Cheapy Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
And I'm CheerandCosplay.
And we don't have anything specific going on today. We're doing another one of those, hey, what did you watch this month things. So we're just going to go around, talk a little bit. Maybe we'll have some continuations of stuff if people are continuing things. Maybe we'll have some new stuff. Who knows? It's really up to whoever's up. So who's up? And don't point at me. How dare you do this to me again?
We can just go in order again.
How dare you?
First in rotation.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Al, you went first, so
Apparently
last
I'm
time, so yeah.
This is the order now.
One of these days, I'm just not going to show up, and you guys are going to figure it out.
Well, then I'll be first.
I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Why don't you get some?
All right, it's my turn now.
All right. So I really didn't watch outside of... Honestly, most of the anime that I watch tends to be whatever we're watching for this podcast and that, which is convenient because it keeps me on track for certain things. I think the one anime that I did watch was Sakamoto Days, the one about the hitman in the convenience store and all that.
I really liked that one.
It's okay.
Aww.
I liked it.
I
liked it too. Yeah, I liked it too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but I kind of got the same feeling that I did from like Spy X Family, where it's like, yeah, this is okay.
I see.
It has its moments. Like, I think I don't always love the whole... There's some anime that are, like, clearly have this heavy action feel to it, where they're like, this profession, everybody's superhuman, but they're not superheroes, or they're not gods, or they're not superhuman. They're just, like, so tough kind of thing. And it's one of those shows where it's like, okay, just say that they have superpowers. You can do that, and we're not going to get pissed off because the hitmen and the assassins happen to punch buildings down with a single hit. Like, just say they have.
You have to suspend your. You have to suspend your disbelief.
I can suspend my disbelief. You also have a guy who literally has psychic powers, and we're just like, can you just set it in a superhero universe? I'm like,
so you need an explanation.
It's not like an explanation. It's just like it feels like we're saying, hey, look at all of these like crazy superpowered people, but no one's going to acknowledge that we live in a superhero universe. I almost feel like it works as like a One Punch Man story, but like that's in One Punch Man's world where like so many people have superpowers. It's not that weird of a thing.
Well, maybe everybody has superpowers, but they're just not talking about it, so nobody knows it's a superhero world.
But if everyone has it, then everyone knows.
No, everybody secretly knows, but they think nobody else knows.
Yeah. You can't let that shit get out. They'll dissect you.
Right.
I'm sorry, but that to me sounds like the one problem that I had with Kanata no Astra, where we just accepted that the first generation that went to that planet, everyone was just like, we're just not going to talk about it. Bullshit.
Sometimes you just don't talk about it. You don't talk about Fight Club.
It just, yeah. Okay.
It bothers you.
It bugs me. I'd just rather just be open about it. It was like, whatever. It was kind of whatever. I've been really enjoying some other shows that I've been watching, though. I finished Peaky Blinders. I'm looking forward to the movie they got coming out next month. I think it's like the Invincible Man or something like that. I forget what the subtitle is, but like I'm guessing they're going to finish out the story, which is really good because I need to see some people dead. And other than that, I watched Wonder Man. And I watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I really enjoyed both of those. And I think I've started to figure out what it is about some of those that I would like to see more of. It might just be where I'm at right now, but I really like seeing a story set in a crazy epic universe that has nothing to do with that epic universe. It's honestly,
I was considering watching Wonder Man, but I've been hesitant to. How is it? I know it's not it's in the MCU, but it's not an MCU show because it's like standalone-ish. And
yeah, it's
so. How is it?
I would honestly compare it to something like, not necessarily in the way of like action, but in the sort of way that it's connected to the stories and that. I kind of compare it to something like The Mandalorian, or like, I was gonna say Andor, but like not really. That one's very closely connected to some of the plots of the movies and stuff like that. Like, yeah, Wonder Man, it's set in the Marvel Universe. It has nothing to do with superheroes. But it's set in a universe where superheroes have affected the landscape of the world and things about that, and that affects the journey of our characters. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars, and the Star Wars movies are great. But one of the things I like about The Mandalorian is that for the most part, it had nothing to do with those movies. And it was just, this is this guy's story in this interesting universe. And I think that's what I liked a lot about Wonder Man, outside of the fact that the characters are great. Like, you got two main characters there that just work so well. And then Night of the Seven Kingdoms is kind of the same way, where it's like, okay, we know about the Game of Thrones, we know about the House of the Dragon and all that. And it's connected to it. But it's just the story of this guy just trying to make his way in the world. And frankly, he's fantastic. The Game of Thrones has so many characters, and like almost all of them are like they scheme or they do this or they do that. I think this is the first legitimate himbo in Westeros, and I'm like, oh, you're fantastic. I love you, buddy. And honestly, I read the book that it's based on. It's very accurate to the book. They've added a couple things which expanded on like some backstories and stuff that I think are really great. Genuinely, it's been such a joy. As I'm recording this, I haven't watched the last episode of the season yet, but I don't know, unless they just completely like fuck everything in the last episode. It's great. I can't see any problems with it. So I think that's mainly it.
We watched Percy Jackson together.
Yes, we did see that.
The second season. Sea of Monsters.
I enjoyed it. I'll let you talk about it more because you're more in the know about it. We did watch Iron Lung when that came out. All of us did.
Yes, we did.
I enjoyed it.
I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, I know we've had some mixed things amongst but I knew we weren't going to like talk about it on another episode. So I enjoyed it. I like the kind of like spooky eldritch horror vibes of it. I wish the camera was a little more in focus a little more often, but like I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm trying to think if I see anything else. It's like I'm like going back through the entire month. What else have I watched? What did I check out? I wanted to go see some Oscar movies here and there, but I have not found the time because a lot of the Best Picture nominees are back in theaters.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks that I haven't been able to do that. How about you?
You're done? Okay.
I think I'm done.
Well, I guess...
hold on. There was one other thing we watched. I haven't had access to a Disney account for a while, and now I got it back. We were watching Hannah Montana last time.
Oh my god.
And then I got to season 4, and I watched one episode of season 4, and I realized, you know what? I actually don't need Hannah Montana in my life. I think I was okay without it.
Didn't I tell you season 4 was really bad?
I mean, I think I remember season 3 was already going downhill because they had run out of ideas. And now it's like, wow, you're completely out of ideas.
Was the 4th season the one they called Hannah Montana Forever, where they moved?
Yes.
Or something like that?
Yeah, it reminded me of Batman Forever in that it was not good. But it's like, there are some funny things, I guess, about it if you want to make fun of it.
Yeah.
I know they're doing a reunion special of some kind in March or April for the 20th anniversary. I know Miley Cyrus is going to be back in it, but I have no idea what it is yet.
I heard about that.
Reunion. I watched the Muppets thing.
Oh.
The new one that they did. I liked it.
Yep, so did I.
I would not mind seeing more.
Was it like an hour special?
No, it was just like a 30-minute. It was like the old Muppet Show.
Okay.
We brought in a celebrity guest. We're gonna do some songs. We're gonna do some sketches, and we're just gonna it was just.
So it was a show, like a full series.
No, not a full series. I think it was just a special, but I think they were doing it as like pilot for a new version of the old Muppet Show.
We don't know per se if it's coming back yet or not. Like they hope that it comes back, and it had good viewership and good word of mouth. So hopefully Disney will get the message.
I'm more than willing to bet in a year maybe we'll see a season.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be happy with that. Kermit sounds weird. That's the one thing I'm gonna say is like whoever they got for Kermit, Kermit's not quite right.
He's actually had that voice since 2017.
I know he has, and I know he was like in I know we watched like one thing, like one bit of that thing where they were like all the pandemic Muppets.
Yeah.
Where they were all on like Zoom, however he was doing stuff, and I know he sounded weird there because it was right after we watched like the Muppets from like 2011, 12, the TV show that was basically 30 Rock. Really love that show. God, we all should have watched that when it was on TV. And I was just like, this Kermit sounds wrong.
His voice is weird.
It's someone else, man. Someone else. If you're not willing to get the other guy, get someone else.
He got fired.
I know he did, and it's like a bunch of different people have a bunch of different reasons for saying that he did, and I'm not entirely sure who's right about it.
Interesting.
Ultimately, creative differences, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the guy doing this one. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll very briefly talk about Percy Jackson. I wasn't planning on talking about it, but I will talk about it very briefly because we did watch it.
It's basically anime.
So I was like a huge Percy Jackson fan in high school and middle school. So I read all the books many, many times. Sea of Monsters was one I really liked, and I watched the first season of the Disney show that covered Lightning Thief, and I thought it was okay. Like, I just felt like the tone was very off. I think Percy Jackson has a very specific voice to it, and it has like this comedic edge that really works, and like this sort of like, I don't know, like casualness to the way it is, or like, I don't know, like you kind of feel like a New Yorkness about it that I feel like the show feels very polished in a way that the book just doesn't to me. Like, it almost feels kind of corporate. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but there's
something from Disney being corporate.
No,
yeah, it's like the
I
Disney,
think I get what you're saying.
the
I get what you're saying. Percy has his own voice.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like it was Disney-fied a little bit, like almost like it's like not as young as like Disney Channel shows or whatever, but it feels like it got like a little dumbed down a little bit. I don't know. So I didn't really like the tone that much in season 1. I feel like overall it was fairly accurate, though. Definitely more so than the movies, if you've ever seen them. And like the author did work on this series very heavily, and I think the cast was pretty good. Like, he picked them all, you know, and I think since they were children, like they were a little bit weak in the first season. I feel like they were better in the second season.
Oh, they were.
I feel like they improved a lot over that time. Percy is now like, he seems way older than he was.
He grew 3 feet between these seasons.
It was crazy. It was so funny, but
I mean, he is around the age where that would start to happen in
Like,
real life.
I'm gonna be real. If anyone's gonna
he's
binge,
17 though.
I know. If anyone binge watches this, you're gonna see him go from like, "Hi, I'm Percy in season 1." "Hi, I'm Percy in season 2."
Basically, yeah.
I'm not trying to make fun of him. Like, it's jarring to go from like, oh, him and Annabeth are like the same height, to he towers over her.
He's like a whole foot taller than her now. But yeah, I think like Percy and Annabeth's relationship was a strength in season 2, and it's a strength in the book too. But I didn't like some of the changes that they made, particularly like the way that Annabeth chose at first to like go with Clarice, even though she didn't end up going on the mission, like that was her plan or something, which was very weird to me. And they made certain other choices, like Percy not seeing the sirens and stuff, like when they left Cersei's Island. And I don't know, there was a lot of little changes that I feel like changed the trajectory of their character development. And I just wasn't fond of that. I also felt like sometimes Percy's perspective just didn't seem to be shown very well. Like, I just sometimes feel like we're not in his head as much as we should be. Like, I feel kind of distanced from Percy. So I don't know. I feel like some of the problems from season 1 just carried over into season 2 for me. I still enjoyed it, but I just still feel like it's kind of like just a lesser version of the books. I do kind of wish they would have done it better or differently, but I don't know. It was okay, but I don't know. I know you liked it a little bit more, but maybe it's because you haven't read the books.
I can't say more. I can't compare it to anything. But the one thing I do think was a definite improvement was some of the cinematography in this one. There was an issue that I had, and I have with a lot of shows, quite frankly. There's a lot of modern shows that will shoot dark scenes like at night or in caves or something, and they're going to want it, and they try to shoot it to be realistic, where it's like super dark. Great, I can't see shit. Yeah. Thanks for that. I'm sure this would be very interesting if I could see anything going on. It did not do that in season 2. There were a few scenes in like some dark caves and stuff like that, and in some darker environments, but I could see what was going on, and that made me happy to be able to do that. So
yeah, that's fair.
That was an improvement.
Yeah. Otherwise, you felt pretty much the same about first and second season?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's an element to it where sometimes, like, there's elements of it where it's like, this is based on, like, some sort of, like, children's mystery novel kind of almost sort of thing. So, like Harry Potter a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it just comes from an element of this is a children's book, where I'm like, well, I can see who the bad guy is, or I can figure this puzzle out. Perhaps a 5th grader probably would have some trouble with it, but I am... fortunately, a little smarter than that, and but that's
smarter than
you are smarter than 5th
grader. It's crazy. Now, when we get to 6th grade, then I have a problem.
Okay,
but
well, that's not a TV show, so you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, you know, like the mythology that it's referring to.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of like foreground knowledge going into this that people with fresh eyes on Percy Jackson who had never been introduced to Greek mythology prior to reading the books would not necessarily have clicked into place for them, so they learned about the mythology as they read.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I mean. Like, it's not, the challenges are not hard to see through the trick of it. but I don't think that it's supposed to be necessarily for me.
That's fair. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, so that was kind of my thoughts on that one. I guess I'll briefly also talk about the one I talked about last month, because I did continue watching it a little bit, though I am a couple episodes behind. I think it's still like pretty cute, but I don't know, the animation.
Did you say what it is?
Oh, Ezekiel Office Worker. That was the one that I was watching before. Yeah.
I watched this thing.
And
it's better, and that's all I have to say.
No, I didn't say it got better. It did not get better. It's still like I don't know.
I'm not gonna say what it is.
I just forgot to say what it was, but I expect everybody to read my mind. But I
just wish my mother would admit that at some point. I'm sorry.
You just have to be honest about that.
I just want people to read my mind.
I just actually legitimately want that. Yeah, I think the characters and stuff still good, but the animation, oh my god, they were working off of $2 in a dream. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, man.
Oh
God damn. Your budget shrunk from a family-sized pack of potato chips to just a snack pack of potato chips.
Yeah. It's bad. I think I saw people online saying that same thing that I just said. Maybe they said $5 in a dream, but I think it's $2. It just, and I it's kind of frustrating because I feel like a lot of BL anime gets that treatment. Like a lot of them, the animation is just not up to par with like some other, I don't know, like straight romance shows, or I don't know. Like I just feel like maybe it has something to do with like them not getting the same budget or something, but it looks pretty bad in some places, I gotta say. Like even the proportions just look off to me sometimes, and it really bothers my brain. And then sometimes they're just like the animation where nothing's moving except maybe their mouth, and they're just kind of like wiggling back and forth on screen. I don't know. I don't like it. So
you mean the kind of animation that I can do?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I fell a little bit behind because of that, because sometimes it makes me go like, ugh, but I still think it's good. I feel like, yeah, just ugh. But I think perhaps I would enjoy the manga more for that reason, or the light novel. So
the manga is pretty.
It's pretty. Okay, that's good to hear, because I feel like it could be very pretty. I like the character designs and stuff, but I think the animation, they just dropped the ball, and it might be a budget thing. So maybe I'll read it. I'll probably still finish the season, or at least see like where it goes and if it's like interesting enough to make up for it. But I don't know, man. It does look pretty bad. In terms of other things I watched, I had two others. So I had watched some of Solo Leveling before, but I hadn't caught up on it, so I decided to catch up on it this month. I actually hadn't watched any of season 2 yet. I had just watched like the first half of season 1 before, and I enjoyed it. I do understand some like criticism of it, that it's like mid, mostly because I think the story and the characters can be a little bit one-dimensional, or a little bit just stereotypical. I don't know if anybody's watched it, but Solo Leveling is basically...
I've watched all of it.
Oh yeah? Okay, cool. I do really like it. I think the premise, for anybody who doesn't know, is about this guy named Jinu who lives in a world where there's a hunters association who fights like supernatural creatures that threaten humanity. And so the hunters are split from like class E to class S. So if you're like a class E hunter, you're the worst of the worst. You're pretty weak. You always need help. If you're class S, that means you're the best of the best kind of hunter. So Jinu starts off in class E, and he's just like considered the weakest hunter of all time. He's always getting hurt. And then
oh, and one more thing too about that is that once you're in a class, you can never supposedly change. Like you're stuck. Like you can't rank up. Like if you're born class B, you're class B for life.
Yeah, that
at
is
least
super
that's what you're told.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
what's the point of a tier list if you're not going to be able to move up and down, if it's a career thing? That's stupid as hell.
Well, it's so that they can rank them to send them on missions and stuff. So you know, like,
but
who's
if you're gonna get
best.
better, then go up or down. Like that's
You're not gonna get better. You're always like at the same rank no matter what. You don't get better.
It's a metaphor for the caste system.
Yeah, it's like the caste system.
Well, those are also dumb.
Well, it is.
I don't like them
bad.
on principle.
It is bad, but I'm saying it makes sense in the world. But
Sure.
But
except when Genu gets better than everybody else.
Genu gets better. So
Power.
basically, yeah, he ends up in a scenario where like he is smart enough to get everybody out of the dangerous situation, but like just on his own wits, but everybody else like leaves him behind and he's kind of left there to die. But then like a system appears that gives him the option like accept to use the system or else you're gonna die, so he accepts it. And the system is basically what you said, like it allows him to level up and actually like move up in the ranks in the world by completing like dungeons and like daily quests and stuff like that. So it's like a video game. If you've ever like watched Isekai stuff, I mean, it's pretty much like that. It's one of those screens that pops up in your face and you just do what it asks. So he starts getting like super hot and super powerful and just like the best there's ever been. And
a harem.
Well, not really.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
Really not yet?
No.
Everybody's in love with him, but he doesn't really have a harem.
Oh, so they didn't go quite towards Sword Art Online at this point.
Not quite, no. He does have a pretty specific love interest, and other people like have a crush on him, but it's whatever. But yeah, so the first season like goes through that, and then he gets his little like shadow people at the end of the first season, which was super cool. One thing I would say that's awesome about this show, I think it has some of the best fight scenes that I've seen in recent anime. I mean, the animation is amazing, and the fights really are worth watching. I love how his shadow things look. I mean, just the way that they're animated is so cool. And watching his fights, they're super hype. The one thing I don't... yeah, they're so cool, right? The one thing I don't like is that everybody kind of does like glaze him a little bit hard. Like they'll just stand on the sidelines and be like, how does he do it? You know, it's kind of cringy and annoying.
Well, the main... You forgot to mention too, one of his main powers and why he's so OP is that he has an ability to essentially collect the souls of the enemies that he beats and basically use them in his own army. So if he defeats a big boss, boom, he gets their soul. Now they're best buds now.
It's
like one of his
cool.
top commander, like one of his top commanders was like one of the big fights in the middle of season 1, and then in the end of season 2, he, spoiler alert, fights a giant ass uber powerful ant. That's like a world level ending event. He basically befriends him by defeating him, and it's a lot more cooler than I'm making it sound out to be. But that's essentially why he's so OP.
Yes.
Like he literally has legions and legions of army that he has on his beck and call. That's why he quickly becomes S rank.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking, well, is this show boring? No, to me, no, because they make Genu sympathetic because he originally became a hunter because he wanted to save his mom who had an incurable disease. The only way to do it was to basically do this really, really hard quest to get items to make a miracle cure. And then they also, the world itself is very prejudicial. Like there's evil heroes or adventurers that try to prey on on lower ranked people. So there's a famous scene where a bunch of them try to attack and kill him in a mine, and they has to deal with that. So you do get invested in the world, in my opinion. And Genu is a likable enough character to where even though he's aura farming the entire time, you still want to root for him. He's not like a unlikable protagonist, at least to me.
No, I agree like 100% because like he could very easily be boring, but I do feel like the way that he started as like an underdog, I agree. Like he was kind of put down his whole life and stuff and always thought he would, always kind of be at that E rank. And so watching him move up in the levels is super satisfying. I think after a while, like, it's like, okay, we do expect him to win, but I don't know why. I still get excited when he wins. It's just like, it's just very enjoyable to watch. And I feel like he is like an interesting character to follow overall. I do feel like some of the secondary characters can be like, I would like a little bit more from them sometimes. But I feel like Genu I really do enjoy, and I enjoy like his, like you mentioned, his really powerful guys that he gets their souls at the end and they become part of his army. I really liked the final arc, the Jeju Island arc, at the end of season 2 was so good. And one of the reasons I think was that we got to see the other S-class hunters do their thing, and we got to see like when it's almost like the stakes are really high, because we know Jinu's gonna win once he comes in, but like the way that all these other people were super at risk, like we don't know who's gonna live or die, I think it was cool to see more of the other hunters. And then he comes in and just like wipes everything out. It was pretty cool. And the giant ant guy, Beru, very, very cool. And then he becomes like his ally at the end. So I really enjoyed that arc. I think it was one of the best to me. It kind of reminded me of a Hunter x Hunter arc that has like giant ants and stuff. Like it seemed really reminiscent. I think I'm not bothered by that though. Like I do think some things like with the Hunter Association stuff, it seems like maybe the author was a fan of Hunter x Hunter. But I think it separates itself well enough that I don't mind.
Yeah.
And I think I feel the same way about the thing as a whole. Like it is reminiscent of some other like similar web novels I've read in similar isekais, even though it's not an isekai, like it has some elements of that. But I think it does what it does really well. You know, I don't really like, I don't know. I don't super agree with the people who say that it's like totally mid and stuff. I actually think it's really good.
Well, the problem was that, and I hate to use this word because it's condescending, but all the normies that don't really watch a lot of anime, but just watch one or two, they latched onto this show because it's uber powerful, and they claim it's the best thing ever when, come on.
I remember my first anime.
Basically, yes. And last year at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, not season 2, season 1 won Anime of the Year over Free Ren, Jujutsu Kaisen, and a bunch of other shows, and people got livid. Let's just put it that way. So that was another reason why I got a lot of hate.
That's probably why. I think like, yeah, maybe some people like hyped it a lot. And yeah, I guess like fans of other shows might be angry because yeah, like Frieren is excellent. But it's like, I wouldn't say Solo Leveling didn't deserve it. Like I think it does some things really well, like especially with the animation and the fights. And I do really like Jinu. So like I actually think it's really good and definitely worth watching, especially if you like action anime. And I think even if you don't like shows like that, like power fantasy kind of shows or power scaling types of things, like it can definitely fall into that power fantasy thing sometimes. But I feel like it separates itself and does well enough at making Jinu like an interesting character with his family and like his sister and his mom and everything, that like I don't feel too much like it's too power fantasy-ish. You know, so
that was another thing too. The normie fans pissed a lot of people off too, because on Crunchyroll, the most disliked episode on Crunchyroll was the episode where he eventually heals his mom because they didn't like the fact that he cried. No! I shit you not. They thought it was, I'm not making this up. A lot of the asshole fans thought it was too wimpy for him to cry and show emotion.
Okay.
That is, you know, yeah, so, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
So this is liked by a lot of 13-year-olds.
So maybe the fandom kind of sucks. I don't know. Like, but I loved that episode and I loved that moment because like I could see like his past self in him, like his mannerisms and like his voice and everything. Sometimes like you can hear like him kind of turn back to how he sounded in the beginning. And like I felt so much for him in that moment. Like you could see he was like,
oh yeah, absolutely. It was one of the best moments of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just
it was so heartwarming.
Yeah, people are idiots.
Yeah, so I can see what you're saying. Maybe that's why it gets a lot of hate, is like the fandom can be annoying and stuff. But I think if you take it out of that, great show with great action. And I really hope they announce season 3 at some point. I'm thinking about just reading ahead. I really like to experience this particular anime like by itself, which is why I haven't read it yet, because I think it's visually stunning. But it's like I might have to read ahead because I'm like really into it, and I feel like I have to know now what happens and stuff. I'd be really interested if it turns out that the system is like evil or something and like trying to turn him into like a, you know, some kind of like overlord or something like that, because it has hinted sometimes about like the power corrupting him or him becoming like more immune to like killing people, or like more, what's the word for it, when you become desensitized. Like, so I would be interested to see him like go down a dark path. I kind of hope that happens, and then have to like give up his power or something in order to save the people he loves and save the world or himself. So like I think that would be really cool. I don't know if that's where it's going, but that would be pretty awesome. But I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a second season. Also, the openings and endings are always bangers. One of the people from Stray Kids did part of the opening, and Lisa, not Blackpink Lisa, but the Japanese singer Lisa. And the ending for season 2, I never skipped it. It was like one of the best EDs that I've heard recently. Visuals are great. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. I really do enjoy Solo Leveling. I think more so in season 2 than season 1.
Call it a donut. It's getting glazed.
Okay, maybe I'm glazing too much. I did say some flaws, though. I think sometimes it falls into some of the power fantasy stuff. And sometimes they glaze him too much in universe. I do get kind of annoyed when they stand on the sidelines and glaze him. But overall, I really love it. I think it's worth a watch, and I would give it a yay. But also, I don't think Essel's ever gonna come back, but I adore her. She was super cute demon elf girl, and I don't know. I loved her so much.
Cosplayer.
I am gonna cosplay her. Okay. She's on my list now. But yes, so Solo Leveling, awesome. Please watch it. And then,
So real quick, I just want to just make sure that I'm clear on this. Having never seen this, but having heard you describe it, this is a very popular anime. So it has an amazing opening. It's a power fantasy. A lot of people watch this guy's battles from the sidelines, and he battles people by controlling creatures that he's previously defeated in battle. And he wants to be the very best like no one ever was.
Oh my god.
Everything
is this just edgy Pokemon?
Okay. Everything has a connection, I guess, but no, it's not edgy Pokemon. I could compare it to a lot of other things, but I would not have thought Pokemon, but all right.
It sounds like, does anyone else have the power to control other monster things? Or is it just him?
I mean, I guess mages a little
bit.
Like, I feel like mages can do that.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
But he's the only one we really see with a big shadow army or anything.
Okay. So he's playing Pokemon and everyone else is playing D&D. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, their little parties are kind of D&D. And everybody else wears, like, these fantasy costumes, and then he shows up in his hoodie. I think it's so funny. I don't know. Like, he doesn't get a costume, I guess. But, anyway. So 11, great. Also, another one that I started watching is one that came out this season. It's called Sentenced to Be a Hero. So far, I'm really liking it. I haven't watched all the episodes that came out. I only watched the first 4 because I just started a couple days ago. But there's 7 out right now. Well, it's about this guy named Xylo. He's the main character. So it's about him and like the other heroes, like a sort of group of them that go around and, you know, fight things that nobody else wants to fight or whatever. And they always get missions where it's like they might die. Sometimes they do die. And if they die, they just get resurrected again. But they lose part of themselves every time they're resurrected. So there's like this one hero guy who's just like, he can't even speak anymore. He's just kind of insane. But
yeah, he's a zombie.
Yeah, he's like a zombie now because he's been resurrected so many times. So it's interesting. Like, you see some characters where it's like, okay, you can see what happens during these resurrections. And it's kind of more like a dark fantasy plot. Really interesting so far. It's not like Isekai or Modern World or anything like that. It's just fantasy. I think the characters each one is very distinct, very interesting. I like the side characters a lot so far, and I can tell like they're going into like the reasons that they ended up becoming heroes and the reasons that they were, you know, convicted and everything. Of course, Xylo was like wrongly convicted of what he did, which was, everybody says that he killed like the goddess that he had a contract with, because in this world you can have a contract with a goddess and they'll help you out and everything.
He was a warlock, gotcha.
Yeah, I guess. And
yeah.
And he gets a new contract with a like new goddess that he meets, and she's like the goddess of swords or whatever, so he can like throw swords and they explode and stuff.
Exploit, gotcha.
So yeah, he was at first reluctant to make a new contract because he did have a really close relationship with the old goddess, and then ended up having to basically mercy kill her. Like, he didn't murder her, but he did kill her to like save the world because she would have like destroyed
I was describing
stuff.
the show last month, and he kind of you know, he did it a mercy, but everyone sees it as a criminal act.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I really like it so far. I think, yeah, I did ask Al, like, what did Envy talk about last month? Because I was thinking maybe you did talk about this one. But I like it so far. So, did you continue it, Envy?
I'm caught up. I'm watching it weekly.
Okay, so you're still watching it. I think the animation's really great. It has like this kind of sketchy style to it sometimes, and I mean the action looks great. It's very fluid. So I would say it's pretty good, you know. That's about all for me.
Alright, so I'm gonna go in order, like basically kind of the same for how I did it like last time. So I finished up the Hashira arc. for Demon Slayer. That was good. I am waiting for Crunchyroll to put the first movie for the Infinity Castle up so I can watch it and actually get caught up.
I think it's coming to Crunchyroll either in March or April, and I think they're also bringing it back to theaters too, if you wanted to see it in theaters.
I mean, I wouldn't mind going to see it in theaters. It's just like finding time to do so.
Yeah.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen, I watched Hidden Inventory, and I got through the Shibuya arc, and then I watched the first 4 episodes of the Culling Game Part 1. I'm not caught up yet. I'm behind a couple of episodes because I've been busy doing other things.
I mean, hey, good for you for catching up. Well, nearly catching up.
Yeah. And then I started Frieren.
Oh, nice.
I'm like midway through season 1. I'm really enjoying that so far. And yeah, that's about all I've been watching as far as anime goes. And then for the books that I've read since the last time we talked, I read 15 things, novels, short stories, and novellas in that time. I'm at like 22 books for the year so far right now.
My God.
So I finished Ariadne. This is actually my second time reading it because I kind of wanted to read the rest of Jennifer Saint's like Greek myth retellings before her new one comes out this year. So I finished up Ariadne, which follows the story of Ariadne, but also follows the story of her sister Phaedra. And it basically, the theme of the story is kind of like how women are brought down by the actions of the men in their lives for reasons. I know Ariadne's like end sort of in mythology that most people know of is that she actually becomes a goddess and wife to Dionysus, but they kind of went with a different end for her story with this one, which I was kind of like, was not very familiar with that one, so that was a surprise. But it was a little bit of a dissatisfying ending because there wasn't really like a good resolution for either of their stories. Then there was Electra, which follows Electra, the daughter of Agamemnon, Clytemnestra, his wife and axe murderer, and then Cassandra, Princess of Troy, unwilling prophetess of Apollo, and basically Agamemnon's war bride prize. And sort of just follows like the story of basically starting from when Helen marries Menelaus all the way to when Electra and her brother Orestes kill their mother. So it went about as you would have expected it to go if you are familiar with the arc of that entire story. And then the next one I read was Atalanta. It sort of basically just covers her mythos. You know, she was raised by bears, eventually became a hunter of Artemis, and then later joined Jason and the Argonauts, though some myths leave her out of it because they didn't want a woman on the ship. But this story has her on the voyage. And then after they steal the Golden Fleece, it goes into them hunting the Caledonian boar and sort of everything with that. And then eventually going into the story of how her birth family wants her back because they left her in the woods to die because she was a girl when she was a baby. And they're like, okay, you have to get married. And she's like, I will marry whoever can beat me in a foot race. And everyone else dies. It kind of goes through that. She does eventually lose to a guy who basically, Aphrodite was like, hey, here are the golden apples that I got. Use these to distract her so you can win the race. And she does, and they do. And then, because the thing with that is, Atalanta's ending for her story, she turns into a lion. And I'm like, okay, she gets to actually be a hunter and not be a human, I guess? So, it's kind of a bit of like this was like divine retribution, but she kind of won in a way. So, a little bit of a twisting of the story a little bit. And then, and the last one she has out right now is Hera, which basically kind of goes through and talks about like the ending of the war with the Titans and sort of how like they came about with establishing their Greek pantheon hierarchy and how they divided up the worlds and things. And it actually, Typhon gets brought into the mix at one point with a myth that is not very well known. It was kind of interesting, and it actually touched on a lot of the other stories that she had already written. So I was like, oh, that's kind of sort of interesting to see how it ends.
Oh my god, they have a cinematic universe.
Yeah. And it kind of ends with, like, not modern Greece, but what would be Hellenistic Greece for her. So it was kind of like, the story itself was very it was a slog at some points, but the ending I thought was kind of like, oh, I kind of like how this note ended. The Villain Edit by Lori DeVore, about a romance writer who is broke. So she auditions to basically get on this world's version of The Bachelor. And so she goes on the show thinking she's going to play the cool casual girl. And the editors and the producers end up making her the villain of the season.
That actually sounds fun.
Just
to be the villain of the season sounds fun to me. But I'm weird.
Yeah, the thing is she doesn't know.
Oh.
So she thinks she's, being portrayed in a certain way, but they're actually, like, filming it and stitching it together in such a way that basically a lot of people on the outside kind of hate her, and she doesn't know it until, like, it all comes out. But it was an interesting thing because she's supposed to be romancing our main guy, but she slept with, on accident, because she didn't know, one of the producers of the show. So it's kind of like a weird little kind of love triangle, not really, but it was an interesting read. I enjoyed it. And then I read, ironically, another one that's kind of based on reality TV dating shows, The Compound by AYoN Rawl. And there was another YouTuber that I forget who it was that I watched, but I kind of, after I read this, watched her review of it. She described it kind of like Love Island, but in a sort of like a dystopian kind of world, sort of.
So the Hunger Games.
I'm intrigued.
A little bit. So they have to do like a lot of tasks in order to get like furniture and supplies and like stuff that they want. And they're stuck in a compound in the middle of the desert. And there are animals outside. And they have to basically, like, do tasks for things like, there are no doors on this building. So they have to do a task to get wood so they can build doors. All doing this while trying to find someone to share a bed with. And whoever doesn't get a bed partner by the next morning has to leave. It was interesting kind of sort of seeing how, like, group dynamics and things and, like, sort of a survival setting kind of pitted all of these people against each other. I would have liked it a little bit more, I think, had the main character been not quite so distant. But I think that was kind of more of a better call on the author, just so we can kind of like see it from like a more sterile perspective. Just because, like, I don't know, sometimes a dystopian kind of works better if it's like told in a more like dissociated way. I don't know if that makes sense, but it wasn't bad.
What was that one called?
It was called The Compound by AYoN Rawl. Are you putting this on your Goodreads?
Yeah.
I can't remember for sure, but I thought there was, like, at least for a season, some reality show that was basically Love Island meets Survivor.
Oh.
Am I crazy?
Okay.
I'm like, was trying to look it up, and I don't think I could find it.
I want to watch it if so.
I was almost interested, but I was like, if I put Love Island and Survivor, it just goes into, here's the horrible things that happen to people on Love Island or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. And then I read a couple pieces of a short story collection. It's the Into Shadows Amazon Original Stories collection, which is basically like all of these stories are supposed to be associated with quote unquote forbidden knowledge. And I'm just like, this is the perfect kind of list for a bunch of dark academia stories. None of these are that.
Oh.
Did I enjoy some of them? Yes. Do I think they fit the theme? No. I'ma just talk about the one that I like the most, and it's called The 6 Deaths of a Saint by Alex E. Harrow. And it's basically about this girl who becomes the Saint of War. And she is essentially like born and then she dies and she is resurrected over and over again to basically fight these wars for this prince who then becomes king, who then becomes an emperor. So it's kind of like about her having to relive the same battles over and over again, but trying to do it better. So that way he can eventually rule over the entirety of whatever this land is. Gets to a point where she is eventually like, no more, I am done. And it's mostly because her squire, who is like starting off as her best friend, then eventually like becomes her lover, he ends up dying. And she's just like, nope, I'm done. No more. But I enjoyed that one. I think out of all the entire collection, I enjoyed it. Again, do I think that the thing about forbidden knowledge is necessarily a theme that this would have gone into? No. Maybe I'm not reading deep enough into it, but I'm like, I would have just liked this as a standalone short story. But, you know. And then continuing, the unselected journals of Emma M. Lyon that I read last month. I read volumes 2 through 5 by Beth Brower. And it gets funnier. And she is slowly accumulating a little group of friends who consist of now the local vicar, who is apparently also part of a group of reprobates, her tenant, who is a former war photographer, now turned portrait photographer, and he is essentially like an avenging angel. And then her third and final friend is a duke, who at first kind of has a little bit of animosity towards her, but eventually they call a truce and they become friends. And I don't know, it's very silly and kind of funny and heartwarming, and a couple of the volumes get a little bit sad because they talk about grief, because she loses like a person who was very dear to her in the past. He was away at war in Afghanistan. This takes place during the Victorian era. So, different war in Afghanistan. But long story short, his body is found and it's brought home, and it's like unboxing all of that grief for her all over again. So it touches on like some very somber themes, which honestly is like kind of appreciated, and like a story that is supposed to be very like silly and is very silly, but was kind of just like, oh, it sort of kind of got me a little bit just because of the juxtaposition of what's going on and what has been happening like around what is happening. But I've been enjoying that so far. I just got volumes 6 through 8 out from the library. They managed to get a bunch of copies in. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. And then last thing I finished was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte.
Is someone gearing up for the movie?
No!
No, I am
not.
not.
The movie.
I refuse to go see it. But I wanted to read the book.
Good.
To be fair, I'm morbidly curious, but I have YouTubers who do reviews for this kind of thing for me, so I don't feel the need to go see it. They can just tell me what happened.
I'll tell you what, I'll get your favorite YouTuber to do a thing about it. I'll go see it and tell you all about it. I have not read the book.
Well.
I mean, you might like it more than someone who has read the book.
Probably.
I gotta be real, it just looks like period piece 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, with Charlie XCX music.
Yeah,
Little
like,
bit.
And the wrong period.
What is with
Yep.
it? I don't know.
I mean, it's supposed to be early Victorian era, so...
Wow.
so this is before...
the costuming is all wrong.
It really is.
to be clear, is the Victorian era before Brat Summer?
I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, the casting alone was...
Yeah, not my favorite.
I mean, how did you like the book itself?
So, the book itself is very much an examination of racism, classism, and like cycles of abuse. Because Heathcliff is essentially like adopted by the father of Catherine and then her older brother Hindley, who Catherine and Hindley are both basically like abused and neglected by their dad. But the dad dotes on Heathcliff, which makes Hindley pissed. So once the dad dies, Hindley is like, okay, and turns him into a servant and basically like abuses the shit out of him. So it's and Hindley, because of all that, and then Kathy basically choosing to go and marry the people who live across the moors because they are people with money and status, and marrying Heathcliff would degrade her. He is like, no. And so it's a very much a revenge story for Heathcliff, getting revenge on these people, and then later on also their children. And then eventually the children like sort of are like, no, we're gonna be smart about this. We're gonna get our land back, because he ends up getting their land.
Damn, this is starting to sound like Count of Monte Cristo.
Everything.
I might have to read this.
What?
This is starting to sound a little bit like Count of Monte Cristo. I might have to read this.
That's what I was
bit.
I was honestly gonna say. You guys might like this because this is basically like Count of Monte Cristo, but not quite as long, and also a bit more romance driven. Well, it is also romance driven in that one too, but it's a bit more violent. But yeah, I would say read it. All of the characters are horrible, but also that's mostly
yeah, I'm gonna let's watch him die.
We're gonna be told this story through someone who is not actually like one of these characters. We're being told the story through, I want to say she was a housekeeper, or like a maid that lived with the family.
Oh god, that makes
so
it better.
We're getting her version of the events.
So the whole book is just like the maid's gossiping. Let me tell you what happened now. All right. Spill the tea. She is telling the tenant. So we are also getting it through the tenant. So the tenant is telling us what he is hearing coming from her mouth. Yeah. That's like,
so
all right, let's hear the drama.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, it's kind of like we're getting that, and then also all of these other details. So it is an interesting story. It's just probably not to everyone's taste. I will say it's not difficult to read, but I would honestly recommend reading it in print versus listening to it, because I did both, but reading it physically actually like helped it make more sense to me as far as how they were talking. But that was just a me thing, and that's everything I finished reading. I'm currently reading Game Changer by Rachel Reed, which is the first book in this series that features heated rivalry. So heated rivalry is on my list to read. However, I wanted to read this first since it is in a series. Game Changer, I am a little bored with it. It reads like it's supposed to be a coffee shop AU, but with smoothies. And
this one's about Scott and Kip, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I would have hoped a little bit more for a slow burn, but I'm kind of bored. I'm at page 130 and it only just started getting interesting because Ilya just showed up. Yeah. So I'm just like,
their stories were intertwined.
Well, so it's part of like a 6-7 book series. Not necessarily like, are they all on like, do they all feature in each other's novels, but it's all like set in like the same world.
Right.
So book 2, book 6, and then I want to say maybe book 7. I think 2 and 6 definitely feature Shane and Ilya. And then I think book 7 will probably also feature them as well.
It's all set in the same world. The world of hockey.
Hockey, yeah.
Yeah.
The NHL, if you will.
The show, it was mostly Shane and Ilya, like chronologically, and then halfway through they do a flashback to Scott and Kip's story.
Okay.
I thought
which kind of takes place in the middle of all of that. They go back in time for some reason.
Okay.
I thought when you said the show, you were like, oh, they're in the show? What teams are they playing for?
So Kip is Smoothie Boy, and Scott is a hockey player.
And who does he play for? Is it in the show, or is it like...
He plays for the Admirals in the book.
Okay.
They're fake teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, is it like the NHL, or is it like, you know...
No.
Regional whale shit hockey.
But I don't know. Maybe, again, the tropes in this book are not quite to my taste, so maybe that's why I'm not enjoying it as much as I would have hoped that I would, because I don't particularly like insta-love. There is quite a bit of that. And I don't know, I feel like they fell into it a little too fast for my liking, but again, like, I mean, to me, it's kind of like, I understand how we got to this point, but I feel like they are so down bad so quickly for each other that I'm just like, can we please make you two a little bit more detached at this point? I feel like we shouldn't be here quite yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like
I don't know how it compares to the show, but like in the show, Shane and Alias is a very slow burn.
Good.
And Kip and Scott, like, okay, maybe somebody needs a little bit of therapy.
Oh no, they both need therapy. Neither of
This
them
is
has
like
been in a serious relationship ever.
This is moving just like a little too fast to be any kinds of stable or healthy.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm like, oh, what is this mess gonna turn into? But not. I'm sure this is probably someone's kind of yum. So you know, that's just my opinion.
I have to ask, because I have been thinking about watching the show, how much actual hockey is there?
Very little. That was like my biggest thing with it. I was like, I kind of wish there was more hockey.
It's actually a little disappointing, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the book is not hockey.
That makes me sad a little bit.
I wish it was more hockey, to be honest.
You were expecting one stick, we got another stick instead.
I know.
I mean, I was expecting both, but I had wanted a little bit of an equal distribution.
Does slashing still get you in the penalty box?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what I meant by that.
Yes,
Yep.
That's why I said yes. I've never seen the show, but I'm going to say yes.
Anything will get you in his penalty box.
Oh, so that's that. I will probably update next time with how that all pans out once I finish it. I really hope it's not the book that sends me into a reading slump, please, for the love of God.
You're on a roll.
'Cause I will be so sad.
You're on a roll.
I know. And then as for the movies that I've been watching this month, aside from what we've been watching for the podcast and Iron Lung, which I was kind of meh about, it needed more work. I have been binging Godzilla-related movies. So I've watched Godzilla Raids Again, which is basically the direct sequel. Which is about, apparently there is another Godzilla, because the one that was killed in the first movie, apparently there was another one, and they have to kill this one by burying him in an avalanche.
There's always bigger fish.
Yep. And then the next one, I've kind of been watching the Toho monster movies that I've been able to find in like chronological order. So the next one was Rodan, which is basically about an irradiated pterodon. So that was, you know, an interesting one. Oh, in Godzilla Raids Again, there was also another monster. His name was Anguirus. He basically is an ankylosaurus, but he is also kind of a hedgehog and is carnivorous. So
just a
another
combination
monster.
of things you don't want to deal with.
Yes. The next one after that was the original Mothra, which I hadn't actually seen yet. I was more concerned with like the next movie she was featured in, but it sort of like tells her sort of story and is more or less about, they kind of made this fictional country called Rosaliska that was basically like a kind of like a capitalist nuclear superpower, which was a mashup of America and Russia for the antagonists of the movie.
I could see
So
that.
I was like, oh, interesting choice. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I feel like I remembered a lot of elements of that movie, and I was like, was this the movie that I watched as a kid? Because I don't think this is the one I watched as a kid. And it wasn't, because right after that I watched Mothra vs. Godzilla, which is basically Mothra. But if we also added Godzilla into the mix and removed the Russia, America, superpower country from the plot. And so I really enjoyed watching that one. It was very nostalgic for me. It's also one of the first movies where Godzilla is actually actively tripping all over himself and falling all on the ground and just flailing his arms all over the place. It's also one of the first movies where he actually has like a remote controlled tail, because that's how they actually operated that thing during some of those movies back in the 60s. And then the last one that I watched was Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Dragon, which introduces King Ghidorah, which is a three-headed dragon-like monster from space. And it's about him being there to take over the world, a princess from a fictional country basically turning into a prophetess for some reason for an alien race from Venus. For some reason. I don't know. It barely made sense to me. And then Mothra comes and is trying to get Godzilla and Rodan, who have been fighting for like a good chunk of the movie. And it's honestly kind of slapstick kind of fighting because they're laughing at each other at parts, which is very silly. Mothra is basically like, guys, stop fighting. We have to defeat the dragon. And they're like, we don't want to help the humans. And Mothra's like, fine, I'll go do it myself. And they're like, wait, what are you doing? So they go and they help her defeat the dragon. And it's all very silly. And that was my experience for the day.
I feel like, is that the one they remade for the Godzilla, the second one where King Ghidorah was there? Because I feel like that was basically...
They remake a bunch of these ones all over
No, the most recent ones.
You talk about the MonsterVerse movies? From
like I think, what was it, the second one, the King of Monsters or something?
Yeah.
They've rehashed a lot of these elements like a bunch of times. And
well, just specifically, because I know Ghidorah was in it, I know Mothra was in it, I think Rodan was also in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All three were in it. But they had a stupid plot about one of the women trying to have the monsters destroy the world because they think that humanity is a lost cause, and I did not like that movie that much, if I'm being honest. Like, the monster fights were cool, but don't get me on a tangent.
I've had my issues with that series as well, so we can talk later.
I think my problem, like, I'm gonna keep watching them because I want to see like how often they do this. I think my problem is the continuity is not consistent, and I would really like it if it was, but I want to see how often they change the origin stories and the setups. I really just want to see how much they fuck with it.
You're just gonna have to hit that point where at a certain point in the movies they're just like, Godzilla's here! Are we even gonna explain it? Why? Why would we explain it? It's Godzilla.
I don't know. I'm enjoying myself. I've also been playing Ocarina of Time a little bit, so those are my updates. I'm sorry that was so long.
That's alright. At a certain point, I'm going to have to figure out what Zelda game I'm going to play for my first ever Zelda game.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a heated question right there, because you're never going to get a right answer from people.
I'm wondering
because everyone's going to write.
I'm wondering if I should just go back to the very first Zelda game and just get an emulator.
No. Do not play the NES game.
What?
You will not know what the fuck you do. It's cryptic as fuck.
It's kind of, they sort of just drop you in and you kind of have to figure it out as you go.
That was Pokemon.
I feel like
if you want to
start, if you want to start somewhere, I would say probably start with either Link's Awakening or Ocarina of Time.
You're making me now want to play the first Zelda game ever. That's what's...
It's so hard.
Okay.
I've tried to play it a few times, and it's one of those NES bullshit type of games where how the fuck are you supposed to figure out anything in this game without either A, a Nintendo Power Guide, or B, a walkthrough? Because
you're supposed to do it by sheer just, I'm gonna explore. That's literally what they wanted you to do.
Yeah, brute forcing it, and also the manual. Like, you had to read the manuals that they came with at the time.
Oh my god, you should do it, Al, and film it.
Should I just stream it?
Yeah, stream it. With no manual, no nothing.
No manual,
just going
no
raw.
nothing. Just, we're gonna raw dog Zelda, baby. You know what? That sounds wrong. Or does it?
No offense, Al, and I do not mean this as an insult. I'm just saying because of how this game is. I give you 25 minutes tops before you rage quit because you can't figure out what the fuck to do.
You better be watching the stream when I do this.
This is like a challenge.
Now you're challenging me. Are you challenging me?
Yes.
No, I'm just preparing you.
We should all place bets.
Like-
I'm gonna give you 2 hours. I'm gonna be generous.
Watch me start on like a Saturday at noon and I just play for 12 straight hours.
I'm gonna give you 2 hours.
Part of it, well, here's
I
the
would
thing. Here's the thing. Is the thing going to be whether I rage quit?
Whether you quit at all, like even out of boredom
Because
or
I'm
anything.
gonna throw this out there because there's gonna be an element of even if I like playing it, I'm gonna have to at a certain point just stop playing.
No, but like never go back.
Okay.
Like quit and never.
I honestly
return.
think you'd be more than a little bored,
That's what I
to
think.
be honest. And then there will be some places where you will probably like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
I'll
like
have
you'll
a
get
backup
frustrated.
game just in case. But this is making me think next time I do some kind of stream, I need to play Zelda now. I'm gonna have to find it.
Yay!
So
Yes,
probably not the
yeah.
next thing that I do, but like, yeah, I'll figure that out and I'll play that first Zelda game and we'll see what's up.
Oh yes.
Ooh, I think I have it.
Oh.
You have like,
I mean, I'm pretty sure most of us have it on Switch.
That I
On Switch,
I
yeah.
don't
Do you have a Switch?
I don't have a fucking Switch. You guys know I don't have a fucking Switch.
Well, then
I have
you
an
can come
account
over
for
and
you
play it
on
at
my
someone's
Switch.
house.
Look, when is the first Zelda game from? 1984 or something?
Yeah, 85 or 86.
85?
Yeah.
Okay. I will
86,
just I
because it's the
guarantee-
40th anniversary
Guys,
this
Oh,
year.
that's right.
Guys, it's somewhere on the internet. I will find it. Or it's on Steam. Or it's somewhere. Someone has it. I will find it.
Nintendo does not license that out
Hey.
to anyone but Nintendo.
Who the fuck said I was gonna get a normal copy?
Normal.
who?
Yo ho!
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. That's
I'm just saying
that's how we
you
have
could
game
stream it
preservation.
at someone's house.
Then I gotta be there.
He doesn't want to go anywhere.
Look,
Lazy.
guys, if I'm gonna be doing it for a while, I'm gonna be around cats for a while, and it's gonna cause problems.
That's true. Your allergies.
That's
are
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
Like,
to go
I've-
over to your place or
I've
something.
only
Switch.
recently in the last 2 years realized that I am mildly allergic to cats, and it's gonna be like I'm gonna be like my eyes are gonna be watering while I'm playing this. Not gonna help.
Do it at Envy's. There's just a dog.
I do
Yeah.
like dogs.
I was gonna say, or were you allergic to Houdini? You could come play it at my house.
I know part of it is that Cece has so many cats.
True.
So
Well, the nice thing about the Switch is it's portable.
okay, so I'm just
It
gonna
is.
steal
We can
someone's
take
Switch.
it anywhere.
Oh, there we go.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
I will figure this out. Don't worry about it.
There, we do have an account for you set up on our Switch.
Hey, that's great. I'll figure this out. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Can I?
Yeah, your turn.
Okay, all right. So I'll go real quick with the seasonal anime, and then I'll go in the order in which I watched or read stuff since the last time we recorded. So, Fire Force final season part 2. It's in the climax of the whole story. I don't even want to bother explaining the setup because that would make me be here an hour to explain everything. But it's done by David Productions, so they always have good animation, and the sound design for the show is like top tier. So it's a pseudo prequel to Soul Eater. I said that last month because in the final arc, the moon from Soul Eater shows up for some reason. I really don't know why yet, but I guess I'll find out because there's only a couple more episodes left. Fate Strange Fake, I'll be honest, I'm gonna finish the first season, but it's my least favorite show that I haven't dropped yet this season. Because it's one of those shows where there are so many characters and there are so many plot points that I just get lost. Like, they explain things and I'm like, those are words. Those are sentences. I have no idea what is going on right now. The fighting is good, the animation is good. It's done by AYoN Pictures, and it's not ufotable, but it's still really good animation, and the voice cast is really good. It's just, again, it's just one of those things where it's just like, okay, how does this connect to this, or how does this connect to this, or how does this connect to this? Like, Fate Unlimited Blade Works was a simple story, a simple setup. Fate Zero even was simpler. by comparison. Like, this is just like, and they were marketing this show as a good entry point for fans or for newcomers to the franchise. I'm thinking, no,
hold up,
maybe go with Unlimited Blade Works.
No, I think they're right. Like, this is a good entry. You're gonna be confused. That's the whole series right there.
Now, the main timeline is not that hard to follow. It's just, honestly, the Fate timeline gets complicated if you try to make all the spin-offs try to fit in the timeline, whether they fit or they're alternate universes or something like that. If you want to just go straight from the original light novel, from the original visual novel to the original anime adaptation, it's not that hard to follow, but just somehow Fate Grand Order is connected, and it's like, I'm not even bothering.
But what if I don't want to go straight? What if I want to go Gar for Archer?
You can.
Really fucking old joke.
To Your Eternity Season 3 has actually been on hold until February 28th because the channel that it's on has been covering the Olympics. So,
yeah.
it was not the show's fault. They got to cover the Olympics. Journal with Witch, I think, is a really good show. I talked about it last month, where it's basically this aunt adopting her 15-year-old niece after both of her parents died away. And what I really like about the show, and Gigak Garnt did a video on it today, where he basically said it's a really realistic portrayal of dealing with grief and how it affects people differently. And then the aunt is really, like, she's basically a social mess. She's basically like me, where she can interact with people, but she's not good at interacting with people. So I kind of relate to her in a very unfortunate way. But the way that they try to understand each other while also realizing that they have their own differences, I think is really refreshing. I will say it might not be for everybody. Like, you got to be in the right headspace to watch it. But if you are, I think so far it's a really good show. Hell's Paradise second season, it's just now, like, this whole second half of this, the whole second season has been a setup for, like, the final confrontation with, like, the gods that run the island, because the manga is actually really short. So I think they'll either finish adapting it this season, or they'll probably finish it with, like, a short season next season. But yeah, they're just now getting to the final confrontation. Like, most of the second season has been set up, which, the characters play off each other really well. So, but you haven't seen a lot of crazy action yet. There has been some crazy action, but not a lot. Jujutsu Kaisen Calling Game Part 1, the newest episode that aired last week, finally got to the calling game. Like, it's just been set up this whole time, which it's been good setup, but now we're finally getting to the calling game. Although the meme that's been going around is no one understands the calling game or how it works or what are the rules, even though they explain it multiple times in the episode, in the season. That's kind of the running meme right now. Chain Soldier Season 2, like I mentioned last month, it's pure trash. I don't recommend anybody watching it, but yeah, it's pure fan service trash. Moving on.
I don't recommend this, but I definitely recommend this.
No, I honestly don't. Like even you, Al, like, you're a straight guy, but even I would think you would probably get bored watching. I was
about to be like, why are you singling me out right now? Oh, okay, it's titties. It's titties. I do like titties. I do like me some titties.
Yeah, there are titties. It's just, you'll probably get bored after a while. I don't know why I'm watching it, to tell you the truth. I do like the character. The sad part is that I do like the characters, and I do kind of like the world they set up with the powers. It's just the author had two priorities, and one priority was definitely more important.
One priority was lefty, and one priority was righty.
Okay, are the powers in the titties?
No.
Oh.
No. Okay, so basically, okay. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. So basically, in this world, only women get powers to fight off magic demons. So the main character, he gets accidentally trapped in this world. Well, not trapped, but like he gets stuck in the world. He gets rescued. And the main character's love interest, she's the commander of a squadron of fighters that fight these monsters. And her ability is called Slave, where it's exactly as it sounds.
So she's a Britney
transforms
Spears
into a
song.
monster with a chain and does her bidding. And every time she uses the main character, she has to give him a reward. And it's based on what the main character is internally thinking at the moment. So whatever he's thinking at the moment, that's what they have to do.
Oh.
So
And you can loan the slave ability to other people to temporarily use, so other characters give rewards to the main character.
So when you first said that even I would get bored with it, and I was going to say something along the lines of, you think I'm going to get bored of titties? Challenge accepted. Now I actually think, yeah, I probably would get bored of this. I think largely, and the way it's sounding is I'm going to get bored because if I wanted to, I could just go watch porn.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an extreme guilty pleasure for me. Let me put it this way.
I think that's what's always confused me about ecchi shows, especially today. Porn exists.
See, it depends if there's like a plot or something, because I've read a lot of good AO3 stuff where it's like the build-up is half of it. So it depends. There could be porn with plot.
But when I say an ecchi show, it's literally just a show about fan service.
I don't know. I don't think I've watched enough ecchi to know.
I've seen 2, maybe 3 in my lifetime, like, that I was just like...
Does Fate count? Fate was an ecchi, right?
But it's so plot heavy. It's
the visual novel
took it out,
was an ecchi. It was a porn game with a lot of plot, but the adaptations obviously got rid of all the porn.
What I'm talking about is the animes. It's like 12 episodes. The only reason this exists is to draw titties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but porn exists.
Yeah.
I could, like, I will catch. I was like, to be fair, I was a teenager, so it was like any kind of titties I could find, and I wasn't. A lot of the sites at the time would give you a virus, so it was a little bit like you couldn't always go to everything that you maybe wanted to look up. But yeah, at a certain point, I was just like, why am I watching this? There's porn.
So yeah, there's that. Free Rent season 2 we already talked about. I will say the last episode that aired before, 2 episodes that aired. So episode 4 was a highlight for a lot of people because there was Free Ren. She had a temper tantrum that was been memed to death already. I'll just say that. And then 2 characters went on a date, and it was as awkwardly adorable as you can expect. That's all I'll say. Trigon Stargaze is pretty good so far. Like I said, I never watched the original show, so I can't really compare how this adaptation compares to the original show. I might go back and watch the original show after this one does to compare, but overall it's pretty good. My Hero Academia Vigilantes, it's pretty good so far. Right as of this recording, they're doing an arc where they actually go over Aizawa's backstory, like when him, Present Mike, and Kurogiri were in high school together, and I think that's pretty interesting. And if you know about Kurogiri from My Hero Academia, you know how he eventually ends up, and it's tragic that, he was such a fun-loving guy with Aizawa, and then he's going to end up being one of the, the main commanders in the League of Villains. So you always have that in the back of your head when you're watching it. Sentenced to be a Hero, Yin mentioned that. I will say, in the newest episodes, the main character and the goddess are finally starting to get along, which is probably the biggest problem I've had with the show. Like, the main character, I understand his situation, but he is such an edgelord. Like, he has one emotion throughout most of the couple episodes, and that's anger. But now he's finally starting to loosen up a little bit, so that's greatly appreciated. And then Oshinoko Season 3, it's probably my favorite returning show that's airing right now. I don't want to spoil it in case anybody wants to watch it one day, but it's really good. And then my favorite, Al, you were asking me last month what my favorite show is of the season, and right now I think it's probably you and I are polar opposites. I love the shit out of this show. It's an adorable romantic comedy. It reminds me a lot of Horimiya. Like, it's more zany than Horimiya, I will give it that. But like, I say it's like Horimiya because you love the main character, you love the main couple, they have good chemistry, and you equally love the side characters. Like, they get a lot of screen time, and you feel for them, and you love their. Actually, you know, this is kind of off topic, but it kind of reminds me of Nozaki-kun, where the characters are zany and the characters are lovable. You just want to like get them together and just hug them and say, "You guys are adorable." So, I highly recommend You and I Are Polar Opposites. It's a really good, and it's also simul-dubbed, and I've actually been watching the dub of that and Sentenced to Be a Hero this season and Vigilantes. So that's more shows I've watched dub at once than a lot in past seasons. As far as new stuff, I actually added 2 new anime, if you can believe it. Medalist Season 2. If you don't know what Medalist is, it's a figure skating anime. And no, it's not like the other one that's very popular. It's actually wholesome. Wholesome in a different way.
What was unwholesome about the other one? No. Let's go back to this. Explain yourself, Envy. Explain yourself to the Jerry.
Yuri on Ice is pretty awesome.
What was unwholesome about Yuri on Ice?
The way that the fandom made that show.
The fandom ruins everything. What are you talking about?
You can't blame the show for its
in and of itself, it was wholesome.
Yes.
Whole with an H.
Oh.
Yeah. But
like on
Medalist is Medalist is a show where the main character, his name is Tsukasa. He's a former competitive figure dancer, but he wanted to be a competitive figure skater. You know, there's a difference. He never got the opportunity to become a competitive figure skater, so he's down on his luck. Well, a cute little, I think she's 10 years old at the start of the show, Nori, she's another one of those girls where she never got to skate. You know, she didn't start out when she was very young. And so the story revolves around an unlikely coach coaching an unlikely student to basically become the very best. And it's, I know I'm shortchanging it, but it's a really wholesome show. And it's a lot of the characters, there's a lot of kid characters in the show, and the kid characters actually act like kids. Like, the stresses and the personalities they have feel like kids. They're not just, you know, anime kids where they're smarter than they think they are, but they're actually, you know, act like their age. And to answer the big question, the show uses CG for the skating, but I think it's good CG. It's not distracting. I think the figure skating itself actually looks really good. So I would recommend that show too. And then the other new anime I'm watching is called Kaya-chan Isn't Scary. And it's basically about a kindergartner who can see evil spirits and exorcises them, but nobody else can see them, so everyone thinks she's a problem child. And it's basically her and this teacher trying to prove that she's innocent, and yeah, it's basically a kindergartner fighting evil demons. And I will say, the show is creepy. The show does have a lot of creepy elements to it. Like, it's Japanese horror, not American horror, so there's that. But yeah, it's the main shtick is a 5-year-old is fighting demons.
So is it, like, funny, or is it, like, a horror, or both?
I mean, it's one of those things where the humor comes from the scenarios that you're put in. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a comedy, but if you find the idea of a kindergartner exorcising demons funny, then I guess there's that.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a straight-up comedy. It's still a horror show. It's just a surreal horror kind of show. So there's that. And then I watched a movie on Netflix. I don't know if anybody else has heard of this movie. It's called Cosmic Princess Kaguya.
Oh, why does that sound familiar?
It rings a bell.
It was, well, as the name suggests, it's another tale of, you know, the bamboo cutter, but it's in a world where the main character, Iroha, she's a high school student that lives on her own. There's no way to put about it. She's struggling. Like, she's struggling to be an honor student, have a job, and pay rent in a grungy apartment. So, you know, life.
Sorry, why does it sound like Saint Young Men, the thing where Jesus and Buddha have an apartment together?
Well, let me get to that. she wishes on what she thinks is a shooting star, but it's, the egg from the moon, where Kaguya comes out of the egg, first as a baby, and then she rapidly grows into a teenager within the matter of a few days, because, anime logic. And this Kaguya is, let's just say, ADHD energetic to the extreme. But she's not annoying. She's still pretty charming. And in their free time, they go to a virtual video game world. Like it's the world that Meta wishes it can create. Let's put it that way.
It was like, hey, you like anime? We just put some anime in your anime.
Yes. So basically, Iroha and Kaguya try to become idols because the grand prize. So basically, this world is a world where you can fight and you can explore, but it's music based. So this movie's a musical. I forgot to mention that. This movie's a musical, but it's not like a musical where there's music every 5 minutes. It's more of there's songs throughout the movie. And basically, this world is run by what we think is a VTuber type girl where everyone loves her. And so there's a contest where the grand prize gets to sing a duet with her. And so Kaguya and Iroha try to become idols to win the grand prize. But then in the second half of the movie, if we watched The Tale of Princess Kaguya, you know what happens at the end of that movie. So a similar situation kind of happens with that. I don't want to give away too much, but I really enjoyed the movie. Like, the songs were really good. The animation is drop dead gorgeous. Like, I wish this movie could have been in theaters because it would have been amazing. It was amazing watching it on Netflix, but like, I would have loved to have seen this on the big screen. I will say this too: people ship Iroha and Kaguya hard. Like, it's the new Yuri bait movie thing that's going around the internet, and I don't think it's bad Yuri bait because I do think they do have a lot of chemistry, and I do think they both love each other romantically. They just never really make the step forward to go forward, if that makes sense. But yeah, I would recommend that movie too. It's really good. Okay, so the next one, I'm gonna be completely honest. I went out one weekend. I went out drinking with my family. I got completely shit-faced. I passed out around 5:30. I woke up around 8 p.m. I knew I couldn't go back to bed because I wouldn't sleep at night, but I was too hungover to stimulate in anything else. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to watch the original 101 Dalmatians movie from 1961 for the first time ever in my life.
Oh.
And I really enjoyed it.
The animated one?
You never saw
Yes.
it? Wow.
Really?
No,
Okay.
I grew up with the live action with Glenn Close, and I was like, I don't need the original. I love this one. And
I mean, it's the one good Disney live action remake.
But I was wrong. The original 101 Dalmatians animated movie was really good. I was surprised how much I loved it. I know Cece's probably fuming because she's the Disney girl. She's like, you're damn right it's good.
I mean, yeah, of course it's good. But I don't know. I did not watch too many pre-Renaissance multiple times.
Really?
So a lot of the old ones. So I saw like only here and there.
But I will say, I will say too. Obviously, people remember Cruella de Vil. The original Cruella de Vil. But Horace and Jasper were freaking hilarious. Like,
yeah.
they were hilarious. And I loved how brutal the movie is. Well, okay, not brutal, but like the puppies nearly froze to death trying to escape from the DeVille mansion. And if they didn't go to a barn, they would have frozen to death. Like, damn. And then the end of the movie where like they had to cover themselves in dust or soot to escape Cruella de Vil, and they had that really intense car chase. Like, that movie went hard. More than it probably should have.
No. Perfect amount of hard.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, some more movies should go hard like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also heard, I haven't watched it yet, but I also heard the direct-to-video sequel, London Adventure, wasn't that bad. Like, I heard it was like one of the few good direct-to-video sequels, so I might have to check that out.
I was not fond of it.
Patches Land? Is that? I thought that was Lady and the Tramp too.
No, it was 101 Dalmatians.
Oh wait.
Patches is one of the 101.
Yeah.
Right.
The one you're thinking of is the...
Yeah, there was a Lady
and the
Tramp too.
something?
There was a Lady and the Tramp too. It was about their little son.
Yeah, but what was his name?
It was
Scamp's Adventure. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 101 Dalmatians had 102 at some point, and then they also had the animated series on Disney Channel.
They did on the farm. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because growing up, I watched the 2 live action movies with Glenn Close, and I loved both of them. So I thought I didn't need to go back and watch the original animated one, but I was wrong. I will admit I was wrong.
And now your next job is to go to watch, what was it, Cruella with Emma Stone or something?
Oh my god, no! It was not good.
Ugh.
Just watch Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, you know what? Good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Al mentioned The Muppet Show earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I never watched the original Muppet Show growing up, so this was the first time I ever watched The Muppet Show, and I can see why it was popular.
Yeah.
And I will say, I'm going to defend Matt Vogel. That's the new guy that voices Kermit. I don't think he's bad. It's just that Steven Whitmer and Jim Henson just set the bar too high that anything else other than them is just like bad in comparison. But I don't think he's horrible as Kermit.
I didn't say horrible, but like everyone has a Kermit impression. Everyone can do Kermit the Frog on some level. I think there's someone who can do it a little better. Someone.
He's just a long time, and he's just a long time employee at the Muppets Company, and he's been around for years, and he's like good at moving the puppets and stuff like that. We talked about Iron Lung. Me and Al were the only ones that liked the movie, and I really enjoyed it. I liked Mark's acting. I know some people didn't like his acting. I enjoyed Markiplier's acting. I liked the production value. The only thing I would have liked to have seen more of was more of his backstory. I would have liked to see more of that. That's my only major complaint with the movie. Every month I read Star Wars comics because, I'm a Star Wars guy. And this month we had a one-shot Jar Jar Binks comic. And in the comic, he teams up with Kelleran Beck from The Mandalorian. And if you know about that show, Kelleran Beck is played by Ahmed Best. So it's 2 of Ahmed Best's characters interacting with each other. And Ahmed Best actually co-wrote the comic.
Well, good for him.
So,
I'm glad he's getting stuff.
This is off topic, but I'm so glad he's healing. He said that he almost, because of the backlash he got as Jar Jar Binks. It's like, no one should ever go that far over a movie role. So
no. Yeah.
People are slow. People are embracing him. People, that grew up watching The Phantom Menace and loving Jar Jar Binks, show their appreciation to him every time he goes to a convention. So I'm glad that, I'm glad that he's being accepted.
I think it's coming with maturity and so it's not everywhere, but I am seeing that at least on some more online fandoms and stuff that are a little more connected with things, they are starting to realize, hey, it's not the actor's fault. It's usually the writing.
You would think, but there's still people that don't know.
But it's eventually people come around and be like, you know what? This guy was here for a paycheck. It's what it yeah.
So basically, the comic, it takes place right after Attack of the Clones ends, and Jar Jar is feeling the pressure for giving the Chancellor, or recommending the Chancellor get emergency powers. And we see that with the Emergency Powers Act, not only does that create the Grand Army of the Republic, but worlds across the galaxy are getting strip mined for their resources. So, it's like real life. And he teams up with Kelleran Beck to try and save a world that's about to collapse from being mined. And at the end of the comic, he actually, this is going to be a deep cut that you would know, Al, he actually saves one of the prisoners, Mira Bridger, Ezra Bridger's mother. And they basically set up the formation of communication lines outside of Palpatine's control. So basically the early wireless communications that Luthen Rail used in Andor and the Rebel Alliance basically used, that was all started with Jar Jar and Kelleran Beck. So, to quote George Lucas, Jar Jar is the key to all this.
I'm gonna be real with you. I still would have preferred Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar.
I am still a fan of that theory. I like it too much.
You need to watch the Lego special, Lego Rebuild the Galaxy.
I know.
That's actually more clever than I give it credit for. It's actually really funny.
Is it like Teen Titans Go to the Movies? It's like, what the fuck? Why are you this good right now?
Yes, I would say it's better. Predator Badlands came out on Disney Plus, and I watched it, and I thought it was fine. Like, did anybody else see Predator Badlands?
I haven't yet. I gotta catch up on a couple things from Predator.
I loved the concept of, following an actual predator as the main character and him going on a dangerous hunt. They introduce a Weyland-Yutani synthetic... what are they called? Synthetics?
I don't know. It's a robot with milk blood.
Okay, so they introduce a synthetic character played by Elle Fanning, and her character is so chipper and positive, it kind of takes me out of the movie a lot. Like, the whole point, and they have a furry mascot character, too. So basically, the whole point of the movie is your family is not what defines you, it's the people that you make yourself that defines who you are, and that should be your tribe, which, cool, but it got annoying for me, and I felt like I would have liked the movie a lot better if it was just like Prey, where it was like a solo movie following a solo hunt the entire time.
Sorry.
Like, I didn't hate it.
So wait, you said earlier that Percy Jackson got a little too Disney-fied. They Disney-fied Predator? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, yes. God.
Okay, it's not horrible. I'm making it sound like it's horrible. It's not horrible. I still enjoyed it.
You said the words furry mascot, and I'm like, in a Predator movie? What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
boy.
On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, immediately after I watched Predator, like, literally as soon as I got done watching Predator Badlands, I watched Predator 2 for the first time.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Oh, boy. Like, that movie makes the first Predator look like Citizen Kane, because that movie is insane. Like, from the very first shot, like, even before the Predator shows up, it's the opening of Predator 2 is what MAGA people think modern liberal cities are like. Dude. Because, like, literally, it's gang warfare in the streets, cops everywhere, pandemonium. Like, it's batshit insanity.
Look.
Like, the whole movie is just insane.
Predator 2 knows what movie it is. And it goes in, and it just does it.
And the sad part is that the movie was made in the 90s, but it feels like an 80s movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, the early 90s was basically the late 80s when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Danny Glover as the main character. Like, he was great. And the final fight sequence, like, it goes on and on and on, but it was still entertaining. And the Predator 2 adds a lot of lore to the Predators, or the Yacha, as they're called.
Yeah.
Like, it pretty much shows that they have an honor code, that they won't just attack anybody. They show respect to even people that defeated one of their own. So, like, yeah, like, looking back on it now after watching the first one and some of the other sequels, like, it's crazy how much lore Predator 2 set up for the future of the franchise.
Yeah. Honestly, also, go check out, there's a blooper where Danny Glover and the Predators are all just dancing.
Nice.
It's really fun. They're all just like circling up, doing like dancing moves, and everybody gets in and out of the circle doing their thing.
And then the last thing, it's a video game. I started playing Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. It was a GameCube game that never got re-released, but Nintendo Switch Online allows GameCube backwards compatibility now. Well, not backwards compatibility. It allows you to play a selected amount of GameCube games, and I've been playing that this week, and yeah, I love the Fire Emblem series, and I'm gonna probably no-life that game in the future. So that's it for me.
I'm still kind of between fandoms at the moment, so talk about some of my daily drivers of podcasts. Last week I said I wasn't going to talk about Dungeons and Daddies, because it's pretty big on its own, but they just started their newest season. Their first campaign, they were dads trying to rescue their kids that got kidnapped to the Forgotten Realms. The second season, they played the grandchildren of their original characters. And then their third season was supposed to just be like a little one-shot between seasons, but then they got into it and it turned into like this whole 2-year campaign. And now it's season 4, they're like returning to format, and they're playing grandparents. And they've only released one episode so far, and they were like, immediately, this is such a mistake because everybody just like sits there and rambles about nothing until the DM has to like cut in, be like, old people, stop talking, there's something important happening. It is extremely funny. Another one that I listen to weekly is called The Real Housewives of Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, it is what it sounds like. It's the Real Housewives of Anaheim fall into a portal and end up in the Forgotten Realms and how their life is now there. This one is a bit of a harder sell. Even though it sounds funny, a lot of people turn it on and be like, oh, these girls are kind of annoying. I don't like this. It's like, well, yeah, they're acting like the Real Housewives. They're supposed to be annoying. So, like, if you can't stand the Housewives enough to imagine them in Dungeons and Dragons, just know what you're walking into, I guess. They're going to be annoying. You can't, like, sign up for this and then be like, oh, no, I actually don't want to listen to these people talk. One that I am not caught up on. It's called Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet. And it's these two siblings, and they just read the most dramatic reviews on the internet. Each week they'll pick a location type and a city. So it'll be like gas stations in Washington, D.C. or libraries in Chicago or something. And then they'll each go and like pick out a bunch of crazy reviews and bring them back to read. This is my podcast that I listen to while doing chores. It's great because it's really funny, but it's also like easily contained in single episodes. There's no like through storyline to keep track of. It's very easy to just like jump in and out of. For books, I've been kind of going on this kick lately where anytime somebody like mentions a classic book or we watch a movie that was based on a book, I'm like, oh, I never read that. And I'm like, wait, why haven't I? I have like a whole library of audiobooks at my disposal and ample amounts of time to listen to them at work. So I read a lot of classics this last month. I read like Handmaid's Tale, I read Jaws, I also did Wuthering Heights. I thought that was supposed to be a romance, and I listened to it. I was like, this bitch crazy, where's the romance?
Yeah.
I read Howl's Moving Castle and the sequel. I'm waiting for the third book, but the second book is like Aladdin.
Yep.
But then Sophie and Hal show up at the end. That was insane. I did finish all of the Princess Diaries books. Those took some...
real quick. I hate to cut you off, but now that you read Howl's Moving Castle, what story did you prefer? Ghibli's version or the book version?
It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again.
Oh.
The Princess Diaries took some hard turns that I could not have predicted.
Pandemic princess.
Yeah. Oh, the one I really want to talk about. So I have been through, like, the bowels of AO3. I've read some truly heinous shit. I often say my AO3 history would make a straight man, like, die on impact. That being said, I read some books this month that, like, puts all of that to shame, and even more so because these are books that have gotten published. Like, they went through editors, and they are very long.
Is this Kiss of the Basilisk?
It is Kiss of the Basilisk, and I don't remember what the sequel was called. Between Two Kings, aka the Spit or Swallow series. So what happens is, it's kind of got like a Cinderella vibe at the very beginning. It's this girl, she's kind of an outcast. None of her peers like her. She lives with her mom on a chicken farm. And the prince he's ready to marry, these people are like 20, 22, I think, somewhere around there. They're of age. So he's ready to take a wife. And what happens when the prince is ready to take a wife and become king, all of the women that were born in the same year as him, including our protagonist, they get sent outside of the village walls to meet with these basilisks that take a human shape, and they train them how to have sex. And then, after like a couple weeks spending nights training with the basilisks, they go back to the prince, and he kind of like gives them tests. Like one night he like kisses each of them, and then like other nights it's like and they have to like, what was it called? It's like the Frisky 5 or something. It's like 7 minutes in heaven, but it's only 5 seconds long. You have to make your impression fast.
Wow.
It's like all these tests so he can figure out like which one would be the best mate for him. And our protagonist, like, she does not like him at first, but she slowly falls in love with him. And at the same time, she falls in love with her basilisk. And then she gets herself into all kinds of, like, mess. There's lots of sex magic happening. It is insane. I was 8% into the second book and I almost threw up. The worst thing I have ever come across in a book was... I cannot describe this. It is fucking insane, quite literally.
So would you
Did
recommend
you finish the second book?
Oh yeah, no, I finished it. There's a third book, it's not out yet.
Okay.
I will be reading it. So if you need something to just like put your stomach on edge, but it's also like kind of spicy. This is it. Like some good spicy food. It leaves you warm, tingly, and a little sick.
Sure, that's an analogy. I don't know if I agree with that analogy, but that's an analogy.
Oh, and then just like one last thing, I've picked up a Ring Fit Adventure again. Actually reset my save file, and I've been streaming that on Twitch and TikTok, not to self-promo, but to definitely self-promo. If anybody like wants a small workout you can do easily in your own home, I've been going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, that's the goal. I've been only getting 2 days a week so far, but 11 a.m. because I go to work late. And like, since that's a weird time, like the VODs do stay up on my Twitch, so you can watch them whenever. They stay up for like a month, I think, before Twitch deletes them. But yeah. So if you need some exercising accountability buddies, that's something you can do easily. You don't really need any equipment. Maybe like a plushie in place of the ring. Most things you don't need the ring for. It's more to like help you with your posture, like having something to hold on to. But like if you do want a ring, they do sell them at Five Below for like $5. They're called Pilates rings. But yeah, I think that's all I've been up to.
All right. Well, you better tell us what else you're up to because we need to talk about next month.
Woo!
So, we're gonna try to do more things this year, which involve people picking out stuff to just go for like a recommendation month. And what we're gonna do, Cece, your privileges were taken away a very long time ago.
Yes.
I think they were reinstated. So we're gonna just kind of, next month is your redemption month. What are we watching?
All right. So for our first week, we're gonna read Kiss of the Basilisk.
Wow.
So we're not doing Cece's month next month.
It's canceled.
Let's move on. Now, what are your actual things?
My first one is Rascal Does Not Love Bunny Senpai. We've mentioned it a few times before on the show, but Envy can vouch for this one. I do have a peer review system going on.
Yes, I very much enjoy the series. I caught up with everything, and I actually had to educate Cece on the series because I blew her mind. She thought it was just one season. No, 2 seasons, 3 movies, and a soon-to-be 4th movie. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I had
to
no
know.
idea about any of that. So I guess I also have homework to do, even though I've seen this.
And the next one?
After that will be Cromartie High School. I don't remember if that's the exact name or not, but something along those lines. Cromartie High. I do have Gav's peer review on this one. After that, Iwakaru? I'll have to send you the spelling of it. It's Sports Climbing Girls. It's about rock climbing.
Oh, that one.
And then the last one is Watatem, which is about a cosplayer.
All right. Sounds interesting. We're going to see if we're going to allow you to keep your recommendation privileges moving forward. I don't have a lot of confidence, but I've been wrong before, and I'm always happy to be. So, come back to see if Cece gets their recommendation privileges back after next month. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye!
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!